reassessment information on local television. We have print ads in the Courier Journal, Louisville Defender, and Aldea in America newspapers, as well as online digital ads. We were also able to share homestead exemption information at all of our community meetings. The homestead for 23-24 is $46,350. Anyone who is 65 years or older and anyone who has been 100% disabled can easily apply for the exemption on our website, www.jeffersonpva.ky.gov. Many property owners have told us they are extremely grateful for our community outreach efforts, and they applaud our transparency as a government agency. Thank you to everyone who showed up at the meetings, over 1,200, and to the fantastic community partners who provided the locations for our meetings. Every year during our State of the Real Estate Press Conference, we address the changes in the local real estate market. We do not create the market, we interpret the market, and it has slowed down some, although there is still a demand for market listings due to fewer homes available, so prices are still up. The Jefferson County PVA has a statutory responsibility, and we are obligated to meet our ratios from the Commonwealth of Kentucky Department of Revenue. The assessments form a basis for taxes levied by state, cities, and other taxing authorities, which help fund schools, fire departments, and other essential community services. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here and helping share these important details about the 2024 reassessment and our appeals process. Jefferson County will add approximately $9 billion to the assessment roll for a cumulative assessment roll total of $92.5 billion. $1.3 billion stems from new construction. We are sending out a total of 96,940 notices tomorrow. This year, MLS areas 2, including the Highlands, Shelby Park, Germantown, New Loop, Phoenix Hill, and Audubon Park. Area 3, including St. Matthews, Clifton, Crescent Hill, and Indian Hills. And MLS Area 7, including Hikes Point, Jeffersontown, Buchel, east of Barchtown Road, and Fisherville, stretching out to the county line, are under reassessment. Approximately 90,000 residential notices are going out, and new values will be posted on our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov, starting at noon tomorrow. The total value for residential property is $60.8 billion, an overall increase in residential of $5.9 billion compared to last year. Area 2 total sales were 1,182, on the low side of 55,000 up to the high side of $2.5 million, creating a median value of $281,750. Area 3, the total sales were 771, on the low side of 105,000 to the high side of over $2.5 million, creating a median value of $385,000. Area 7 sales, 901, on the low side of 106,000 to the high side of just under $1.8 million, creating a median value of $290,000. Our commercial assessment had approximately 6,900 commercial parcels in areas 2, 3, and 7, including retail, industrial, multifamily, restaurants, office, hospitality, entertainment, and vacant land. Although $31.7 billion of our commercial property contributed to this year's tax roll, an increase of $3.1 billion over last year. The open inspection period for 2024 begins tomorrow at noon, April 26th, and runs through May 20th at close of business, 4 p.m. We continue to increase the statutory 13-day window for appeal by increasing that window by 10 days for a total appeal window of 23 days. Starting at noon tomorrow, April 26th, property owners will have the opportunity to appeal their assessment value by completing the online conference on our website at jeffersonpva.ky.gov. Because our office does not know every detail of your property, we want to make it easy for you to seek your appeal. This is a key part in attaining fair and equitable property assessments. Our online conferencing tool allows properties to go online 24/7 during the appeal window to file their appeal. Our conference tool is simple, it is user-friendly, and it's designed to work on smartphones and tablets as well as computers. PVA staff members will also be returning to public libraries to assist customers in filling out their online appeal. We will be at the Jefferson Town, Highlands Shelby Park and Mid-City Mall, and the St. Matthew's Library branches from noon until 4 p.m. tomorrow, April the 26th. Through the remainder of the appeal window, we will be at the Jefferson Town Library weekdays, Monday through Friday, the Highlands Shelby Park Library, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the St. Matthew's Library, Tuesdays and Thursdays. With PVA assistance, our staffers will be on hand and be available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to assist taxpayers with their appeal. On the final day of the appeal period, May 20th, all three branches will be available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with PVA staff assistance. We're offering 2 additional meetings with PVA assistance from 5 to 7 p.m. on May 7th at St. Matthew's City Hall and May 14th at Jefferson Town City Hall. And we'd like to thank both cities, Jefferson Town and St. Matthew's, for agreeing to host these events with us. We realize that some of these areas are experiencing many home renovations, and some longtime property owners may be concerned that their property value will increase dramatically. That's why we created several years ago the stratification system that will only compare a taxpayer's property to another like property in the same neighborhood. Renovated homes are not compared to unrenovated homes. We work hard to get our assessments right, but we don't know every detail about property. If your property information is not correct in our system, please let us know. If you're unable to participate in the online conference using online self-service, we are offering teleconferences to those who may not be tech savvy, who may have a disability, or maybe they do not have home technology, and our staff will provide an appointment. You call 502-574-6224 to reserve a time. Our staffer will call you back at that appointed time and will walk you through that teleconference. We expect a high number of requests, so to ensure you receive an appointment, please make sure you call us by May 13th, 2024. Our office will be open 2 Saturdays here in the PVA office at 815 West Market, May 11th and May 18th from 9 to 1 p.m. I think that wraps it up for specific information about the 2024 appeal. We'll now open it up for questions.
Yeah, you had gone to Frankfurt last year talking to state legislators about the need for increased property tax relief, and Bill 23, which would have frozen the property value assessments for seniors, didn't ultimately get passed by the legislature. Can you describe to me where efforts are going to stand now in terms of advocating for that relief? Great question,
and thank you for asking that question. Several years ago, our team provided a lot of research to the legislature, a packet that we call Circuit Breaker Solutions to an Erratic Market. We studied what is going on around the United States and other cities and what their solution has been to the erratic market. In that packet, there were many options: a homestead freeze, a cap on the amount that the value can be raised, and another thing called limited value and fair market value. We provided that to the legislature 2 years in a row, and we have not heard back. I guess there has not been really an appetite to do anything with that. To my knowledge, Senate Bill 23 did not pass. I think it died in House committee, or I think it made it out of Senate and went to the House, and there was not passed in the House. So the homestead exemption is not frozen. The value is not frozen once a taxpayer turns 65. And we did give them many other options. The cap on the amount that a property could be raised is probably one of the fairest and easiest ways to do that, but it does require an amendment to the state constitution, because section 172 of the Kentucky State Constitution requires us to assess all property at 100% fair cash value. So that's what we're doing this year, which is what we do every year, is we assess, we interpret the market, we look at what buyers are paying and what sellers are getting for their property, and we derive our assessments from the sales comparison approach to valuation. I hope that at some point in the near future, the legislature will entertain looking at some solution to erratic real estate markets that will be a fair and equitable way for assessing property, and taxpayers will not be at risk of problems paying their tax bill.
There are some naysayers, some homeowners. What are some of the things that you will be looking for in their assessment application? And what are really the odds for homeowners when it comes to being successful in that assessment appeal?
Well, as I tell every property owner in our public meetings and at this press conference, if you have a valid case, if you can substantiate what your opinion of value is through interior photos, through an appraisal, through a bona fide estimate by a contractor that outlines all of the needed repairs for your home and priced out. If you can substantiate your opinion of value in your assessment online, in your assessment tool, you will most likely win.
Do you have a ballpark percentage of how many of those appeals are eventually actually approved?
We look at the market, we look at all the appeals that come in. The true number is misleading because, as Colleen expressed, if you provide valid information, you will be successful. But unfortunately, a lot of the conferences or appeals we get don't provide information as the first step. They might need to provide it at the next step at local boards, and they might be successful at that next level.
Right. There are 4 levels of recourse to appealing your property. The first one is to conference with the PVA, which is what we're doing now. If you're not successful here, you can go to the local board, but you have to have conferenced with the PVA. Go to the local board. If you're not successful there, you can go to the KBTA, the Kentucky Board of Tax Appeals, and you can go all the way up to the last and final level of recourse to circuit court. But as I said, if we did not get it correct, we want to know. We don't want to not give you a fair chance of having a fair and equitable, accurate property value. We want you to appeal your property. I will tell you this, that we started this you have a right to appeal program when I took office 5 years ago. This is the 5th year for it, and in the year we started, we had about a 10% level of appeal of people who appealed. That has dropped over the years down to 2%. Now, I don't want that number or that reduction to discourage anyone from appealing. If you feel like we've gotten it wrong, by all means, please appeal. Make sure that you substantiate whatever your opinion of value is. And we will take our R&B team will take a strong look at that. And you'll hear back within about 2 weeks. And And if you're not satisfied, even if you get it reduced, but you don't think it's reduced enough, appeal it to the local board. The other thing is that if you're not under reassessment in any of these areas, if you're not under reassessment, if you don't live in any of the reassessment areas, you can appeal anyway. So taxpayers, property owners can appeal every year if they so choose to do that. So we encourage you. It is your right. And we are here to accommodate that and to expedite your appeal conference. So
We have an online question from Matthew Glauke of the Courier Journal.
hi, Matthew.
Matthew, if you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Sure thing. Good morning, Colleen. Quick.
Matthew,
Yes, can you hear me all right?
I can barely hear him.
Is this any better?
It's better.
Yes.
We hear you loud and clear, Matthew.
Okay, great. Thank you. The last time these three areas were reassessed, was that 2021? And was that a delay from 2020 due to COVID?
In 2020, these areas were on the quadrennial plan. As you know, we operate under a quadrennial plan approved by the Department of Revenue. It's a rolling 4-year plan. These areas were scheduled for 2020. However, our office was closed to the public due to COVID. The libraries were closed to the public due to COVID, and we were unable to allow property owners to appeal in the way that we, have with our you have a right to appeal program. So what we did was we went to the Department of Revenue, and they modified our quadrennial plan. We then reassessed that the next year with those 2020 values. And so now we are back on the regular rolling cycle of the quadrennial plan. So it was in 2020, the reassessment was modified to include all real estate sales and any permits for improvement. But the full scale reassessment was modified to 2021.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. And kind of as a slight follow-up to that, the figures that folks will be seeing now, can you explain the look back window for those comparisons, like how far back they go? I forget if it's a year or two, or just like, what does that timeline look like?
It's about 18 months because all property is assessed as of January 1. So January 1 of 2024 reassessment this year will go back 18 months looking at the sales from 2023 into the last half of 2022.
Great. Colleen, just one more question I had for right now. Is it too early at this point to have an idea of the median assessed values for these three areas to give folks a sense of that increase or decrease?
I did cover that in the presentation. We will be glad if you missed part of that, Matthew, or for those who are here just arriving, we will be glad to give you all a press packet with all of the details outlined in this presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Can you just speak to the delicate balance of, what your role is in collecting these new assessments and making those, and somebody's desire, obviously, to not have to pay anymore?
Okay, well, I will say the delicate balance. I have a directive as the public official in this office to uphold the state constitution, section 172, which instructs us to assess all property at 100% fair market value. We do that every year. And in a rising market, which we've seen in the last 10 years, we've seen these median values climbing, those rising assessments convert to a higher tax bill in November. So we have really put our community and public outreach program on steroids to come out into the community to make sure that every single person that is a homeowner in this community that wants to know how to appeal their property has the proper information, and they'll know what to do to be successful. We hosted 4 hybrid meetings that drew over 1,200 people. And so it is a very popular issue, obviously. And we are as concerned about rising property values as the taxpayers are. But again, the assessments fund public schools, fire districts, and other essential public services. So we know that they are necessary. Like I said earlier in answering the question earlier, we did send a packet called Circuit Breaker Solutions to the legislature 2 years in a row because we are so concerned. We took the time to do our own research, to look what other cities are doing to combat these rising market values in a fast market. We have not had any changes yet, or at least we have not been informed of any changes. I don't think anything passed this time. I was asked to go testify to the interim budget committee. I did that. And we are doing everything we can to help the taxpayers be able to stay in their homes and be successful in appeal if they do have a valid case. Anyone else?
When is the last time this system for assessment has been revamped? You know, there's an equation, we put the information into a computer system. When is the last time that that's been looked at to be updated?
We do it every year. It's on an annual basis. We operate a mass assisted appraisal system. Our R&V team looks at deeds. We put them into a system. They interpret what is going on. They are a very competent team, and that team then sees what the median values are from the sales, directly from the sales. So again, I want to make it very clear. The PVA does not create the local real estate market. We interpret the local real estate market. So as you know, there's a lot of activity in this market over the last 10 or 12 years. When the market returned from the fall, it came back with a fierceness that people have really not even been able to keep up with. And the only thing that has slowed it down in the last couple of years is the mortgage rates have edged up, and fewer homes on the market have just decreased the sales somewhat. But it's still a robust market, and it's still a pure seller's market. Sellers are still getting higher prices for their listings than they ordinarily would in a buyer's market. And if those mortgage rates go down, like we think they probably will sometime in late fall or beginning of next year, I think you'll see a return to another very fast market. We were for years in a historically low mortgage market.
So in other words, the process hasn't changed, but it's redone every year.
The process is the same. We analyze the sales from the transfer deed, from the deed transfers, and we roll that around the county. This year, it happens to be areas 2, 3, and 7. Last year, it was areas 1 and 4. So, and I'd like to make one thing clear. So we have a ratio obligation that we have to meet through the Department of Revenue, and we have to fall within 90% to 110% of fair market value. We fall within that ratio, we're in good shape. If we don't fall within that ratio, the Department of Revenue will come in and do an emergency reassessment. So we perform our job very well. We just completed, we're given the results of our biennial audit. It is posted on our Facebook page, where we passed with flying colors, and we have always upheld our statutory responsibility and always fallen within the acceptable ratio range. But it does happen every year. It's in a rolling 4-year market. Next year, we are in areas 5 and 6, MLS areas 5 and 6. And so we have the county in quadrants, and as that rolling quadrennial moves around the county, that process continues.
What are some of the most common reasons somebody comes back and gets their property reassessed after that first?
You mean they win their appeal?
They win their appeal.
Okay.
Yes.
They can win their appeal based on deferred maintenance, because we don't get inside the property. We look at the property from the outside. So I don't know if your home still has, shag carpeting. I don't know if your home has not had a kitchen remodel, or if your bathrooms are the original bathrooms. So we don't know that. So we rely on the property owner to give us photographs of the interior to substantiate what that value is. And we will work with you on that. We want you to, if we have it wrong, I want you to win. I want you to win. So photographs are great. You can also have an appraisal done. Those are acceptable. It has to be within 2 years. If you bought your house a year and a half ago and you have a copy of your appraisal, submit that. If it's over 2 years old, we won't accept it because the market changes pretty quickly. You can also have a construction company, bona fide remodeler come in, go through your home, create a punch list, price that out, and submit that for everything that needs to be repaired. So anything that is deferred maintenance, anything that is outdated or has what we call functional obsolescence, please document it, because that is going to substantiate your case. And if you can do that, you're going to win. Anything else? Thank you all so much for coming out today. Evan Westfall is going to be sending you copies of that press packet. And if you have any further questions, call us back and we'll be glad to try and clarify any information for you.